Yes, Madam Speaker, I think it's really important that we recognize that there are many that actually spread misinformation, intentionally spreading misinformation, Madam Speaker. Think of it in this sense, where the Parliamentary Budget Officer and the projections that were being made were based on something that did not incorporate Bill C-12. Bill C-12 comes out of Bill C-2. Our Prime Minister and this government brought in Bill C-2 to deal with asylum seekers. And the members and the Conservatives know that. So when they talk about this $1.5 billion, they know it's wrong. They know it because C-12 is actually now in the Senate, and it comes from C-2 because that's the only thing that we could get out of C-2 from the Conservatives. The question to the member is, would he not acknowledge that the Parliamentary Budget Officers does not take into consideration Bill C-12?
The honourable member for Red Deer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you for the question. It's a coincidence that the member mentions that the PBO report does not include provisions in C-12, which is why the Conservatives at committee moved a motion at committee calling for an updated PBO report that would include the provisions of C-12 as well as further important details that the Government of Canada seems to have no clue about, including the number of fraudulent asylum claims, the number of claims that have been denied and still receiving health care, and the number of people that should have been deported but are still in Canada. But Liberal members at Health Committee were delaying and filibustering this motion, even though they were also calling for an updated report. The member should encourage his Liberal colleagues to stop obstructing Parliament and get working with us and get this project done.
The honourable member for Pierre Boucher, Les Patriotes Verchères. Thank you, Madam Speaker. A question for my Conservative colleague, because right now I'm working, among other things, on the file of dangerous unlicensed truckers, and in some cases, some of these truckers don't have legal status in this country. Some do, but some don't. And in one case, there was a truck driver who killed someone on the road, and the driver ran away. He was brought back to face justice, and he'll probably have to go to prison. But according to my colleague's motion, that driver would have just been deported and would never have had to face justice or go to prison. So I'm trying to understand, is that really what the Conservatives are proposing?
Red Deer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to thank my Bloc colleague. As a proud Albertan, I believe the two provinces share much in common. To answer his question, I must say that there are many things that I would have to ask my shadow critic on because I sit on health. I am disappointed that the Bloc are not going to support us on this. All the time in committee, we hear about how you want more money for health, and here we are coming up with some solutions. This could mean thousands of more doctors in Canada, and you're going to block this Conservative motion. As for your request, I would ask you to ask one of my colleagues that would have better information. But on the healthcare side, you keep asking for more money. Support this motion.
Questions and comments. Question et commentaire. The honourable member for Peace River, Westlock.
Mr. Speaker, our motion today calls on the federal government to review the federal benefits that have been given to asylum claimants in order to find some savings for the taxpayer, to restrict benefits being given to asylum claimants who have had their asylum claim rejected, and to provide transparency on federal spending on this whole thing. So we have put in order paper questions, Mr. Speaker, and we found in 2020 alone there was 86,000 rejected claimants. 86,000 rejected claimants, and these people have had their application to be a refugee in Canada rejected, and yet in some cases spend up to 4 years in Canada after that rejection have been getting premium healthcare services that even Canadians aren't eligible for. What does the member have to say about that?
Honourable member for Red Deer, about 40 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for the question. I'm very proud of the work that this Health Committee is doing. Canadians wouldn't even know about these 86,000 asylum claimants that have been deported that are claiming health benefits. Some of them receiving very expensive procedures. Some of them that are receiving cancer treatments that they should be deported and receiving in their home countries. So I thank you for the question, and I want to make it clear that Conservatives support regulated and legitimate refugee claims. Those legitimate fleeing war, persecution, deserve compassion, and we as the Conservative Party do support that compassion.